And it looks like we are live on the pre-show.
And Yankee scrambling to grab some silver. You're like,
um, how's
got
it
your
go?
Cowboys, Yankee? Oh, like,
Yeah, you need the Cowboys.
I got my Cowboys.
I got a couple. We're doing the Cowboy giveaway, so that'll be
Yep.
exciting.
Nice.
Um, how you been?
Oh, I've been great. It's been a bit.
It has been a
This is like,
second.
I know, right? Ah, man, I took put in the chat. I can't believe that this is season 6. It really is stunning to think that.
I mean, over 5 years, Yankee.
I know.
It's a
I
big
know.
deal.
Longest collab in, I think, our community, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, certainly for a joint live stream.
Right, right.
Yeah, definitely the longest running collaboration in the community. Um, and it's been so much fun. I'm really excited for this year. We're doing something a little
Me
bit
too.
different.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
should we tell
No,
them
no,
save it?
no. Yes, save it.
How's it
But
going, chat?
you've been a busy beaver, haven't you? Running around, moving.
Mm-hmm.
You've
Yes.
been. We were
Last.
just chatting. We were chatting about Portland
Oh,
before we went pre. I know, right? Oh
Portland
my
is the
goodness.
worst. I lived too close to Portland. I moved farther away. I'm still too close. No.
I'm
I'm
happy
far.
for you.
I'm far away now.
Very good. Very, very
So
good.
we're in a much better place. Yeah, it was an incredible amount of work to move, but it was well worth it. And my family is much happier out here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
much happier out here. So
Good for you.
yeah, and let's see here. We got Thule in the house. We have at least one mod. Thanks for hanging out, Thule.
Hi, Julie.
Appreciate you. I think they changed the rules. You can like block people for a whole day now if they are weird in the chat.
If they're weird in the chat,
not
Julie,
not weird.
she's
I didn't mean it like that, but
don't be weird in the chat. Julie will take care of you. Julie's
inappropriate.
one of my mods too. She's phenomenal.
Yeah, the best. Oh man. So we got about 3.5 minutes here. Uh, any good deals you've seen? I think SD Bullion is doing maples right now.
Yeah, I saw the maples. Do you have that handy so that we can shout it out later, or
No,
what?
because we're getting all set up with the wheel and your
That's true. Don't want to
screen,
mess that
and
up.
we
Do
want
not
to
want to mess up the
make
wheel.
sure
I'll
there's
never hear
no
the end of it.
issues with the giveaway. So it'll be
Yeah, so I'm
full
already,
screen.
yeah, just to let people know, I am already capturing names right now.
Mm-hmm. And
So that's good.
if you want
It's
to
a good
enter
thing.
the giveaway, you just need to be chatting in the chat.
That's right.
And if you try and chat in the chat and it doesn't let you, then you need to hit subscribe and be subscribed for at least 1 minute, and then it will let you chat.
Mhm.
It's pretty simple.
True. Yeah,
So
so it's really easy. Be a subscriber, put something in the chat. You'll be captured. Those names will be slapped onto the wheel of names. We'll spin at the end. And what do we? Oh, should we tell them now or wait?
oh, they know we're doing the Cowboys.
How many?
We're gonna do two winners tonight. It's the
Oh, there we
season
go.
premiere.
There we go.
By the way, I have a confession to make, Yankee.
Hmm.
When I initially made the stream and everything, I used the wrong premiere where I forgot the E at the end. So I had to redo it all. So some people maybe saw that when I initially posted the live stream. There was like a few people that probably saw it. But
That's great.
yeah, my wife is like, what are you doing? You're saying it's like premiere, like it's,
Uh,
top tier, not like the first of the season.
yeah.
You got to put the E at the end. I was like, oh my gosh, that's why I love you, baby.
Yeah, right. She had you covered.
She always has me covered. Yes.
Hmm.
So anyway, I don't know if anyone caught that, but I fixed it.
Very good. Yeah, we're a little bit rusty, especially with your move, right? So
Oh,
your whole setup was disrupted for a bit,
oh,
right?
completely. And it
Mm.
even messed up with what my filming videos and like how often I
Mm.
post. And it was I'm set up now. Hopefully, there's no issues tonight. It'll be fun, and I'm
Good.
actually really excited to be doing a Q&A again.
I am too, although I will admit I'm a little intimidated by how you entitled this Premier. All your silver questions answered.
All the ones
No
we can
pressure,
get to.
dude.
All the
No
ones we can get
pressure.
to.
It's like, wait a minute, all of them? Yeah, we'll do our best.
Every question we read, we will do our best to answer.
Oh, there we go. There's the caveat. If we're looking at this question and it's like too hard, we'll kind of like,
Well, I mean, we're not going to go. These go for an hour, so as many as we can
yes,
fit.
yeah, and we will take on the hard questions.
In
We're not
fact, I'm
gonna.
going to go ahead and start right now the Q&A.
Ooh, there we go.
Enter questions here. There
Mhm.
you go. So if you do have a question, go ahead and click on the blue Q&A little banner there, and you can go ahead and put your questions regarding silver. And I think we're ready to start, are we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Silver Pros, sponsored by SD Bullion. I'm your host, Silver Dragons. I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Yankee Stacking. What's up, Yankee?
How you doing, Silver Dragons? Great to be here.
Yes, great to have you. This is a new season. This is our 6th year doing this show, and it is the first year that we will be posting as a podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yes,
Podcast. So
absolutely.
we'll be putting it on different platforms, right? After we're done.
Yep, that's right. So still got to figure out how to do that. But if you're listening on podcast, thank you for being here. We are filming this live on YouTube. If you want to watch it live, then you need to subscribe to Silver Dragons and Yankee Stacking because we do the show on both of our channels, right?
That's right. We alternate.
Yes. So, but anyway, this is all about answering questions regarding silver, and we're going to get to that in a second. But before we do, how's stacking been going for you, Yankee? Any cool pickups lately?
I did. I'm actually showing a few right on the screen. Since we last did our Silver Pros, I picked up several tubes of rounds, all different types, like the trade unit circling this 100-ounce Royal Canadian Mint bar. As you know, I'm not a huge bar guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? But this one, I finally took the plunge. I said, I'm going to have one large bar. So I got a 100-ounce. It got me, kicking off right this year for my silver stacking goals in 2024. And I picked up, this 10-ounce silver bar and some other cool stuff. How about you?
I am focused on finishing my maple monster box this year. And I'm
Whoa.
trying to finish it as soon as possible. I want to get that done, and then I want to set a new goal for myself. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be, but I want to check that box because I've been working on my Maple Monster box for a number of years now, and I just don't like loose ends. I want to get that finished, and then move on. I mean,
So you're going to scold me for not finishing my dime guardhouse
right.
box.
I was gonna say, how long have you been working on that dime guardhouse box?
All right, I kicked it up a notch. All right, so I've been buying some from SD Bullion. I've been buying some from Tim. I bought some from Silver Dave. I'm buying as many dimes as I can, but not all at once. Not all at once. It'll be done. I swear to you, it'll be done this year, guaranteed.
All right. Well, there you go. It's a promise from Yankee. He's going to finish his dime guardhouse box. And I also promise I will finish my maple monster box. So there you go.
Excellent. Good.
Who's going to finish first? No, we're not going to make it a competition.
No, oh my word. What season of Silver Pros was that when we both had that race to the monster box of Silver Eagles? Remember that?
It must have been season 2 or 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a good time.
Good times. Good
But
times.
it was worth it because it motivated us, right?
It did. I highly recommend that people do that. If you're close to someone and you want to encourage each other and push each other a little bit, it's fun. Did I mind that you won the race?
No,
No,
I don't think
not
so.
really. No, I don't ask Mrs. Yankee what I said, but no, I was happy for you. But I was really happy for both of us because we both got to finish that great milestone.
Yes.
It was pretty close. It's a tight race.
Yes, it was very close. But yeah, well worth it. And maybe we'll have to do something again like that in the future. But anyway, I think it's about time we get to some of these questions here.
Right.
If you are watching live on YouTube, thank you for being here. If you want to ask questions, click on that blue box and you can put them in there. We're going to try and answer as many as we can. And we're going to try and just focus on the ones pertaining to silver because this is Silver Pros. So
We
there
can
you go.
stray in a little bit into the, some macroeconomic stuff or any type
Oh, yeah,
of
you can ask whatever you
stuff.
want.
Ask whatever you want. Right, right. Doesn't only have to have the word silver in it, but that's what we're going to key in on.
Right.
We want to help you stack like a pro right here
Exactly.
on Silver Pros.
Exactly, we do. And I should also mention for those watching live, we're doing a free silver giveaway that's going to be at the end of the show, so stick around for that. And
Hmm.
make sure you're chatting in the chat to get your name entered into the giveaway. But let's dive into these questions, huh?
Yep, do it.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to start off with this one here from James. He's asking, what is the worst thing a noob stacker like me can do? Wow. Do you want to tackle that one first? The
Oh, there are
worst thing.
so many things. The worst,
Mm-hmm.
let me think if I can prioritize.
Yeah. If you had to
Um,
pick one, or, maybe you could say a couple, but what do you think?
okay. The thing that comes to mind, and I really don't know if this is the worst thing, SD, but panic stack.
Mm. Like go
Just
all in
go
too
crazy.
fast.
Yes. How many times have you and I seen people, especially new stackers, they get excited, they see the silver, they get it, it's beautiful, and they feel like they're behind and they start making poor choices, prioritizing it a little too fast. And they may have debt, they may have other things that need to be prioritized, and they don't. They're afraid. They don't have enough. And so they panic stack. That is I would warn, especially new stackers, to avoid that.
Well, and yeah, there's a number of issues that go along with that. Number one, you're buying a lot at one point in time. You're not really dollar cost averaging.
Good point.
So, hopefully you bought on the dip, but if not, you could be buying at a little bit of a peak or a little bit higher than if you had just bought a little bit every week or every other week. But also, if you go in too fast, maybe you don't have cash savings as well. And we always like to say you should have some cash on hand for an emergency because if you buy your silver and then let's say your car breaks down or maybe a medical bill or whatever, and you have to sell your silver right away, that's not great because with premiums, if you buy and then resell, you could lose a little bit, right?
Too often, I see people being forced to sell because they didn't really think it through and budget and carefully go at it slow and steady, dollar cost average. That's very important.
I'm actually going to go a different direction with this question.
Hmm.
So the worst thing a noob stacker can do, usually when I think about big mistakes when it comes to silver stacking, I think about telling too many people, and I
Mm.
know, like, believe me, once you get into silver, you want to sort of evangelize, tell everyone like, hey, buy silver, it's great for savings, etc. Um, you tell your friends, your family, oh, this stuff is so cool, but um, that's probably not the best thing to do. And why is that, Yankee?
Oh, operational security.
Mm-hmm.
You are risking a lot when you tell people that you are stacking precious metals. Silver is not something you want to have your lips tight and only tell people that you absolutely trust because bad things can happen. Loose lips sink ships, as they used to say.
Yeah, it kind of puts a little bit of a target on your back. So I would say keep it secret, keep it safe. Tell as little amount of people as possible that you're buying silver or that you're buying gold. No one needs to know.
Correct. Can I maybe mention one more really quick?
Yeah, of course.
Here's a newbie mistake sometimes. You think you're going to get rich quick.
Mm, yeah, it's
Don't do that.
yeah, no, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is retain wealth over a long period plan.
Agreed.
So very true. Okay, another question here. This one is from Sick Thinker. Is there any need to keep the fancy outer boxes some coins come in? Oh, interesting question. What do you think about that one, Yankee?
The outer boxes, meaning like the display clamshell type display cases that come from the mint or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I actually keep them.
Mm-hmm.
but they're in a separate box. I pull them out and I kind of have a whole stash of those just in case I want to either give it to someone or something else. Like I know some people would maybe want to sell it, flip it, whatever. It might be nice to have. Keep the COA, the certificate of authenticity, but I don't store regular bullion in those boxes. Do
Right.
you?
It takes up too much space.
Right.
Um, yeah, no, if your plan for your silver is to sell it like on eBay someday, or like Yankee said, give it away as a gift, then maybe hold on to it. But if you're just stacking, for decades and you don't have room in your safe and you don't want to be bothered with it, I mean, honestly, I throw a lot of them away myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are different generations, me and Yankee, but yeah, like the clamshells and stuff. It's paper and it takes up a lot of space. And are you going to get like $2 more for it on eBay 10 years from now? Maybe, I don't know. Um, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there you go. Okay, let's see. We do have a lot of questions here. Any ones that are jumping out at you, Yankee?
Yeah, I'm looking. Where can I get cheaper silver half Kennedy dollars? You
Mm,
know, I, SD Bullion, the sponsor of our live stream, is a great place to pick up constitutional 90% silver. So check out their half dollars. You definitely, if they have any deals, look for the docs deals. If they have some going, that's a great place to
that
get them.
that's exactly what I would say. Wait for them to go on sale. I
Hmm.
don't like to pay retail. When I buy online, I wait for the sales, and they will come around. I've seen them go on sale quite a few times. But also check your local coin shops. Call around or just literally walk into them and see what they're asking. I think what is Tim's at right now for half dollars? Do you know?
It's about
Eight
20,
oh
21. Yeah, it's
21.
hot.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at right now. I see the one of the top sellers is their $10 face 90% US silver quarters, random dates. It's like 90, 19,
19, yeah.
19.15. 90, anything under 20 is really, really good. 18 I've seen.
I've seen 18, yeah.
In fact, yeah, yeah. Silver Dave had some at 18 and a half. Tim's was a little high. But SD Bullion, I'm seeing 19 plus. Yeah.
There you go. All right. I'm gonna tackle this one here from Michael.
Mm.
Should we buy silver at $30 an ounce or sell at $30 an ounce? Great question. Well, it depends on what your strategy is, right?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, $30 an ounce for silver could be insanely cheap in 10 years from now, right? I
Five
mean,
years, two
yeah, or
years.
even
Mhm.
5 years, two
Yeah.
years, 1 year. Who knows? We don't
Hmm.
know. But the bottom line is, I mean, gold was $20 an ounce for a long time. Look at it now, 2000, right? So,
Until I see that ratio coming down, it's buy.
yeah, yeah, no, I was gonna say for me, if silver goes up to 30, I'm still buying. Um, should you sell a little bit? Take some profits if you want to. Go right ahead. I mean, you're stacking, you can do whatever you like, but for me, I'm still buying. Is that what you're doing, Yankee? Buying?
Yes, absolutely. I had this conversation with Tim just today. As it goes up, what happens? What have you seen? And yes, there are people that when it hits 30, 40, 50, and we've seen those prices before back in what, 2011, uh, people came in and sold. But you know what else happened? FOMO kicked in. People started to be aware of what silver was doing, and there were buyers on the way up as well. So I don't think it's a bad idea to buy. It again, it depends on what your strategy is too long term for your silver.
Right. Okay, we got three questions here, Yankee, and I'll let you pick which one you like out of these three. They all seem to be very good.
Do you think 2024? This is from Darylyn Grigsby. Do you think 2024 is going to be a good year for silver? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I think it's going to be a great year for silver.
Okay,
Um,
why?
I had my why? Because we are, I truly believe the rate cuts are coming.
Hmm.
It's an election year. They're going to juice the economy. They're going to make it look so good. And that means they're going to try to stimulate the fake economy. And they're going to do it by rate cuts. Who knows? They might even get to the point, if we have a banking crisis, of doing another round of QE, whatever it takes. And that is going to bode well, I believe, for precious metals.
Yeah, we actually have another question right below it from Stacking Benjamins.
Oh,
What is your
look at
predictions
that.
on Fed hikes?
Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, literally right there, and you kind of touched on it, but you know, the Fed meeting that took place yesterday, Jerome
Mm,
Powell's hinting that they may not do a cut. It's
in
interesting because they're saying Fed
March.
hikes. I think they're talking about rate cuts.
Yeah.
Um, but that they may actually not do a cut at the next one, and we kind of saw a little bit of volatility with the stock market.
Mm, yes. But you know what? I get the sense of when I saw the volatility settle down and I
Mm-hmm.
look at the price of precious metals right now, I think they shrugged it off. I think they're going, yeah, you're saying that, but we know that's what you really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it may not be March like we had first thought. It might be April, May, who knows? But at some point, I think it's coming.
I'm going to answer this one real quick. We got one from Silver Guy. What do you think of the Lunar Year of the Dragon coins? I love them. I think I have like 20 different designs now. Um, Anything with a dragon on it that's silver, I'm in. So they're
Oh, good.
beautiful. And I'll give you a little tip here.
Hmm?
Usually, when it comes to Year of the Dragons or Year of anything, just the lunar year, the dragons typically do the best of all the different years. So just keep that in mind. If you want to
Does
buy a few, go for it.
what? Does better than the rat?
A lot better than Year of the Rat, yes. All
Right.
right. How about this one here from Mike Haynes? I'm gonna point this one in your direction, Yankee. So he says, I hear central banks are stacking gold in order to have other assets than the U.S. dollar. Is that true?
Central banks. Well, we're talking gold here because central banks really are focused on gold.
They don't
That's
stack
what
any
they do.
silver.
Right. Central banks around the world, they're trying to repatriate it. They're trying to build their stores. They don't trust the US dollar. And that is going on. It has been going on quite at a pretty fast clip now for a few years. So that hasn't abated. And I think it's only going to increase. Confidence is being lost rapidly, unfortunately, for our US dollar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if they're prudent, they'll be stacking gold.
Hmm.
And a lot of the
Hmm.
central banks are. And that's one of the things that's held gold up over the last few
Hmm.
years, really. Lots of buying from central banks.
I agree.
Unfortunately, none of them stack silver. The U.S. used to, Mexico used to,
Mm-hmm.
but not anymore. So there's not really that bullish aspect for silver, unfortunately. But silver a lot of times follows gold, so who knows? Uh,
I do think that silver, we have to remember that silver is a commodity that is used up in industry. One of the things that we also have to be careful of is that there's been a large expectation that electric vehicles, EVs, would be exploding and needing, I shouldn't say that word explode. The desire and the production and the purchasing of EVs would continue, that our government would crack down more and more on fossil fuel burning combustion engines and force EVs. I think that that actually might reverse. I'm seeing more and more automakers give up. In fact, I just saw one just the other day say, no more, we're not funding that. I forget which one it was, Mercedes or somebody. I think you're going to actually see less EV, which silver is a big part of that, being used. I think other areas, though, it could grow quite a bit. So I think silver and like solar panels and so forth might continue to increase. So it's hard to know exactly where silver's going from an industrial standpoint because there's a lot of uncertainty, especially in the EV space.
yeah, yeah, I agree. We'll have to see where all that goes.
Mm.
Obviously, they're predicting lots more solar panels,
A lots more.
and
Yep.
silver is one of the primary
Amazing amount.
components in solar panels. So that's something bullish to think about.
Hmm.
We'll have to wait and see how all that pans out over the next few years and decades, obviously. Okay, we got one here from Fat
Ooh,
Fresh Studio.
I like
Uh,
that one.
yeah, my LCS only has used, worn, and or scratched rounds and coins. They're $3 to $4 over spot. Is this a bad buy or a good buy? What do you
Mm.
think?
It depends on whether it's a round or a government minted sovereign coin. If it's an American eagle or a maple, $3 to $4, really good. If it's just a round, yeah, one or two, three, that's not bad. But boy, I'll tell you, it's surprising that they only have that. But that was something, Silver Dragons, that I would go after when it came to eagles early on.
I
I
know.
wanted call, I wanted circulated and scratched up eagles. It's silver. And if I could get it, well, at that point, at spot or just a buck over, I was ecstatic. So I would say, yeah, if it's eagles, grab them.
Yeah, and for people that don't know that word coal, it's spelled Cull, and it
Mm.
just means essentially damaged coins,
Yeah.
etc.
Not brilliant uncirculated or BU like they usually sell from dealers.
Right. Yeah. No, I think those are a good thing to stack. If I had the option between buying, for example, a brand new, beautiful, uncirculated, Silver Eagle, for like let's call it
30.
yeah, $6 premium or so,
Mm-hmm,
or I
mm-hmm.
could get a scratched one for like a $3 premium. I'm definitely getting the scratched one.
Bingo.
Okay, here's one. Oh, I love this question here from Jason. How much money does it take to stack? Not a lot.
Not much. Not much. No.
I'm gonna just go out and say, if people don't know, my first 40 ounces of silver, I was able to stack those from money that I received from returning cans. So I live in the state of Oregon, and we get 10 cents per can that we return, a bottle, can, whatever. And so I was collecting them literally out of the trash, and I would take them in, get the cash from it, and I would use that money to buy silver. So
Mm.
how much money does it take to stack? I mean, you could, even if you're completely broke, you can still get creative with it and stack. You know,
That trash to
trash to
silver
cash to silver.
that was the first video I watched, and that got me interested in silver dragons. I remember that quite ingenious and hardworking. It was the way to go. So the answer, yeah, just start buying some silver. It doesn't have to be a certain amount for you to be technically called a stacker. You're buying what you can, and that is what you should start to do. That's a just start with something, a little
Yeah,
bit.
and if you own just 1 ounce of silver, you own more than most people in the world.
Oh, far more. I did see MP68 thoughts on local silver mints 1/10 ounce silver rounds.
Yeah.
These guys right here, I actually have a tube, and I just did a video with Silver Dave on them. These are really nice, and I highly recommend that people check them out. Here's the deal. These are great for a an option for barter. These are
Mm.
barter rounds that could really be handy. And yes, the premiums are higher. So here's the deal. Don't stack a lot of them. All right. I don't recommend that. I like the diversity of having bars and small dimes. Most of the fractional silver that I own comes in the form of 90% constitutional silver.
Right.
Absolutely. But to have some of this, or maybe one of his barter bags of bars, 1/10 ounce bars, not a bad thing to have. And I'll be doing a lot more bartering this spring with a variety of things to determine, are people more comfortable sometimes seeing something that says silver on it, says 3/9 fine on it, versus a dime that doesn't say silver? Or would they say, no, I know what that is, but I don't know what this is. So we'll find out. But I like the diversity or diversification.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how that turns out.
Yep.
As most of you know, a silver dime is a 14th of an ounce of silver.
Correct.
These are
Yep.
U.S. mint dimes from 1964 and earlier.
Right.
We call them junk silver or constitutional silver. And so there's actually less silver in a silver dime than in one of these 1/10 ounce rounds. And what I was actually going to say is these are great gifts. If you
Mm.
want to just give away a little bit of silver to your kids or grandkids or whatever, I throw them in my kid's stocking, whatever. The small things like that.
Right.
That's a great option as well. We
There's a
have.
place.
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Go
Just
ahead.
one last thing, really quick. There is and for people who question this whole barter thing, there's a festival that's going to happen up in June up in New Hampshire,
Hmm.
northern New Hampshire. They don't use fiat currency at this
No
festival.
way.
They only use silver.
Are you kidding?
Dude, I am going with Silver Dave, and I'm going to, for a day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever, I'm going to buy stuff and transact in just silver.
Dude, I want. I really. When is it?
It's in June. You want
June.
to join me?
I kind of want to come out and do it.
Oh, oh, fly out here, man. I would love to have you.
All right, I'll talk to my
All
secretary, see
right.
if we can book it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that would be awesome. All right, very cool. So we have another question here from Mr. Hightower. What silver round do you buy most often and
Mm,
why? So yeah, silver rounds typically they come in 1 ounce size. The most popular silver round is the Buffalo round. Um,
mm,
and I would say for me personally, it probably is Buffalo's. I
mhm,
think I've
mhm.
stacked more of those than any other silver round over the years, just because they're so prevalent. Um,
They're very popular.
what about you, Yankee?
Absolutely. Buffalo rounds probably top in terms of its recognizability, but I have to admit, the round of the year last year had to be the Cowboy round. I absolutely loved this round more than any other. Its design, its look, it's just some of the security features they had put into place. Scottsdale did a phenomenal job, so I really did buy quite a few tubes of those.
Yeah, the Cowboy rounds, gorgeous. Okay, this question is I'm gonna direct this one towards you here from
All
Shook
right.
Donation.
I get the
So
sense you don't like some of these questions. They're too hard, and you say, "I'm just going to give this off to Yankee."
the more seasoned stacker. No,
Oh,
I
hmm.
know what I would say to answer this one, but I'm curious what you're going
Okay,
to say first. All
sure.
right. Okay. So it is on average, what times per year would you say prices drop for better deals? What do you think?
Um, I would say the deals go well during the end of the year around Christmas, Black Friday. There's some really phenomenal deals every year. That's sort of like the Super Bowl of deals,
Mm-hmm.
right? Each year.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. And then every so often a spot price deal will pop up too. Those you grab whenever they show up. And then I have other thoughts. What do you think? Is that you agree?
Yeah, I would say if you want like spot deals and that kind of
Mm,
stuff, then Black Friday, yeah.
mm,
So I always save a little bit of fiat, to be able to take advantage of those. But typically,
mm.
I think that as far as like spot price, because when you're looking for a good deal, like you could look at premiums, right?
Yep.
And then you could just look at spot price as well. Like when do we see the dip? And I think if you would average the last 50 years, you would see that usually in the summer, we see lower
Mm,
spot prices, just kind of in general.
true. And
Although
right, right.
that
And
being
right after the
said,
first of the year too.
right, like right
Right.
now.
Right now, right.
um, yeah, so summer is usually a pretty good time to stack.
Mhm.
So yeah, we got that to look forward to. But I was gonna say this year might be different because we have the election coming up, and obviously, if the Fed starts cutting rates, then probably not gonna see those lower spot prices. But who knows? All
All
right,
right.
let's see here. By the way, there's like hundreds of questions. I'm trying to sift through
Oh,
them
I
here.
know. Liza Janet, sorry, Lisa Jean 84. Thoughts on MMT. That could be an entire Silver Pros episode. Modern monetary theory or magic money tree or more money now or more money today or whatever you want to call it. It's crazy. I did a whole video. You got to check it out. It is fiscal and monetary madness.
There you go.
I don't. I could go on and on, but I think that I'll just summarize it like that.
Yeah, you can only kick the can down the road so
Uh,
long before the whole system implodes.
it is. It's crazy that
And
people would even
yeah,
believe it.
it's Eventually, I believe it will implode, and that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why I stack silver.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now we
SHTF.
have another one here. Go ahead and read this one, Yankee.
All right. In an SHTF scenario, who sets the price for the bartering power of silver? Will it be common knowledge to use the last spot price, or do you believe it would be regional, local transactions to set? In other words, a free market?
Yeah. What would it be?
It would be a free market. Okay, this is worst case scenario. And this is something that doesn't happen right off the bat, right? If it's really that bad, people are not going to be wanting silver out of the gate. They're going to be wanting food, water, clothing, shelter, all the other stuff that you should be prepping for even before doing a lot of silver. But at some point, when we need a barter currency, this is the logical choice. Silver first, absolutely. And I think the price is going to be set as a free market. It's not going to be pegged to the dollar per se. It's going to be pegged to goods and services, and it's going to be, how many dimes do you want for that? Well, I can get that for two, not four. So it'll start to be, goods and services will be priced in silver. I don't know what that price will be. I mean, I once saw a sign that said gallon of gasoline, one dime, one silver dime per gallon. And if you
Wow.
calculate it over the last 10, 20 years, it's kind of it's about right. I shared that with a guy at Tim's just today, and he worked at a gas station. He goes, "Yeah, actually, that's about right. I can see a gallon of gas for a silver dime." So, it's going to be figured out as people get more educated, as the knowledge increases around it. It's going to be the free market that decides the exact price.
I could not agree more. Well said. All right, we have another one here from Michael. The gold to silver ratio is currently laughable. It's like 90 to 1. Will that balance out significantly and soon? So, when they say balance out, I think they're
Mm.
referring to that it's typically much lower than this. So the gold to silver ratio, right? How many ounces of silver could you trade for 1 ounce of gold if there was no premiums, if you're just looking at spot price? So right now, 90 to 1, it's about 90 ounces of silver, same dollar value as 1 ounce of gold. And usually it's like 40s, 50s if you take the average over the last, so many years. Um,
Hmm.
will it balance out? So essentially, is silver going to become more valuable? Is it going to close the gap? Or is gold going to become less valuable as a ratio compared to silver? Um, Honestly, my opinion is that it is out of whack. But I've been stacking for what, 6 going on 7 years, and
Hmm.
it's always sort of been like 80, 90 to 1. The whole time I've been stacking.
Yeah.
So to me, it kind of seems normal, but I know
Mm.
if as you go back in time, it's obviously really, really
Mm.
high. So honestly, I think we're gonna need silver to jump up quite a bit for it to close that gap. Is it going to be this year, next year? I think it's definitely going to happen this decade. Uh,
Yes,
don't you
I agree.
agree?
I agree with you. That is when I think we're going to see it maybe 60 to 1, 50 to 1. I really think that that's coming in this decade, maybe even less. Well, I don't know how low it will go, but it's going to revert back to the mean. It's going to go back to historical numbers at some point. Right now, there's too much manipulation. I think that manipulation will be lost. They won't be able to control it. The COMEX will lose control of it. So,
All right. What
you
about
know,
this one here, Yankee?
yeah, let me see. As Silver Dave mentioned, is it common for there to be a rush to buy when spot is on the rise? Why is that, Landon? It's a great question. I not only asked Silver Dave that, but I asked him that today because I wanted to get a balance here. I- You know, Part of it is FOMO, part of it is momentum trading, part of it is just chasing after what's hot and familiarity. You don't hear much about silver on MSNBC or the I should probably not say MSNBC. I should, you
Fox
know, uh,
News, CNN, whatever.
yeah, whatever, business news channel you watch. You're not going to see much. You're going to hear crypto every 5 minutes, but you're not going to hear much about silver. But when silver gets to historic highs, all-time highs, people are going to go, what is going on? And people are going to want in.
That's
Maybe
true.
those who have bought low might sell some of it, but a lot of people are going to be interested. And Tim agreed. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think it mostly has to do with FOMO. I think a lot of people right now aren't thinking about silver or maybe don't even know about silver. And then, just like you said, when the price starts going up, the mainstream media starts covering it. People go, "What? Wait, what is going on with silver? Silver's on the rise, and I can just buy it and keep it at my house." Whoa! So then they go to the
mhm,
local coin shops, and this is what we've seen time and time again.
mhm.
The local coin shops get flooded with new stackers when spot is going up, and then when it's going down, ghost town. You
Isn't that
know, or
and
the
it's
veteran
so
stackers only.
right, right. Be the contrarian stacker. If you truly believe in it, like Silver Dave, it's a true believer. He really does believe in it, and his guys do too. When it drops, it's on sale. Get more.
Yeah, I like to buy the dips whenever I see the price going down, or even premiums going down. It's like,
Mm.
wow, now's the time. And honestly, right now, as we're filming this, it's February 1st. Premiums are pretty low. I mean, they're basically back to normal. Spot
Even
is
even with the Eagles,
well, the Eagles are a little higher than I would like them to be.
close though, right?
But the 2024s have been on sale. SD Bullion had a pretty good sale on them. I actually
Yes, they
picked
did.
up a few of the 2024s, and they shipped today, Yankee. So
Woo-hoo.
I'm excited for that. But
Very nice. Yeah, I've been waiting for them to ship.
yeah,
Cool.
but when you look at other things like for example, we have a question here from FedEx routes. What should noobs be starting with? When you look at
Mm.
sort of like the more, let's say, generic, right? Your silver rounds, silver bars, those premiums have mostly normalized. And I think, especially for new people, like 1 ounce silver rounds is still the best thing to be stacking. What do you think it should be for noobs?
I agree. Right now, it's about the rounds, small bars. Don't go crazy on anything high premium. Stick with it. It's hard if you really want to get some government minted silver bullion. I mean, and I know people do. They want trusted government minted silver, like from, America, Canada, Great Britain, wherever it is. I get that, but don't make that your first target, in my opinion, at this point. Still look for the rounds.
Yeah, look for the good deals, low
Yeah.
premium. And the reason I like 1 ounce silver rounds
Mm.
is kind of because that's how I started my stack. But also, if you do need to sell them for some reason, you could just sell them one at a time. But if you buy the 10 ounce bars or the 100 ounce bars, you got to sell, 10 or 100 ounces at a time. You can't really cut them up. So that's why I like the 1 ounce for starting out.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
it's interesting. Some people will, I meet them all the time at Tim's, and they're talking. And it's like, I bought a whole bunch of rounds, but I've decided it's time for me to get maples, and I'm buying tubes of maples. I'm buying tubes of eagles, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That it's still silver is silver, and it's good to have.
I actually think it's natural for stackers to transition into some of the bigger bars as their
Mm.
stack grows. For example, I didn't buy my first 100 ounce silver bar until I was like 4 years in. And Yankee, I mean, you just bought your first 100 ounce silver bar.
My first and last.
Really? You don't like it that much?
I love it. I just don't. I like
But
the
the
smaller
premium, dude.
denominations. I know that, but I like the smaller denominations, and I really like rounds because when you think of coinage, when you think of money, do you usually think square? You think
No,
round.
round, yeah.
I like the round silver. That's just me though. It's not wrong to get, rectangular silver. I just like more rounds than bars. That's all.
Yeah, I think it's
But
a
it is
preference.
beautiful. It is a beautiful bar. I'll give you that. I had to have one.
Yeah,
Almost said at least one. I said one.
it's if you're gonna get 100 ounce, I do like the
Oh,
Royal Canadian Mint.
beautiful bar. Wow.
Yeah. All right. What do you think about this next question here?
You think the US government will ever go back to a gold silver backed currency or make coins out of silver again for circulation? The quick and dirty answer is not willingly, only if they're
Mm,
forced. Governments
really?
do not want anything backing their currency. They love fiat currency, as it's called. They love to be able to inflate. They don't want restrictions. So only if we had a revolution, only if we had mm, something horrible like, oh, I don't know, a national divorce, a breakup. That used to be considered complete, insanity for me, for someone to say, but it doesn't seem so insane now, does it? If something horrific were to happen and we needed a new currency, I could see sound money returning, but it's not going to happen willingly.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's certainly. I certainly don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Maybe like way down the road.
Mm,
But I think I definitely agree with you. They like to have more control. And the problem with gold and silver backing your currency is you can't print more gold. You can't print more silver. There's a
nope.
finite amount. So when you got to balance that budget, you only got so much to work with, and that's it, right?
Right.
Um, and that's one of the primary reasons I think they stepped away from that system, so that they could have more control.
Hmm.
That's a topic for another video. We could do a whole
Right.
episode on that. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen in my lifetime. Uh, as Yankee said, maybe if they're forced to. I just don't really see that. I think they're probably more likely to move towards digital currency.
Uh-huh. Right. Right.
So it's like, I mean, that's even it is fiat still, but a worse form of it, where they have even more control. I think that's what they would prefer.
I agree. I
So,
agree.
all right. Okay.
You gonna shout out that nice $5 super chat?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Let's see. Something about Bitcoin and gold. Bitcoin versus gold. I'm not going to bet because, again, I just did a video yesterday and
Yeah.
I was comparing cryptos and precious metals. And
Mm.
one of the first things I said was I call it the crypto casino and I don't like to gamble. So I will not be taking a bet on Bitcoin versus gold. But another thing I said in that video is that if you do buy Bitcoin or crypto and you enjoy it and it goes to the moon, then great. That's awesome. Good for you. It's just not a risk I'm willing to take. So there you go.
Thank you for the $5 super chat.
But thank you for the $5 super chat. Yes. Yes, indeed. Um, all right. There was or a few questions here about a particular website, Timu, and I
Oh,
do want to warn people out there that there's a lot of fake silver and fake gold on websites like Timu. Anything shipping from China,
mm,
really good chance it's not real, almost guaranteed. Unless it's like an individual who's a collector that lives there or something. If it's a big company shipping from China, run. Your silver is not supposed to rust. So there you go.
if it sounds too good to be true, it is.
Yeah.
You and I, dragons, get emails and comments all the time. People that are like, "Look at this place. He's gonna sell Silver Eagle for only $12."
Right.
Mm-mm. No,
It's
stop,
not
run
silver.
away. And Timu, oh my word, if I had a dime for every Timu ad that pops up on my device, I hate it.
I know. Now that we said it,
uh,
it's yeah. People will
Timu,
start
Timu,
seeing them.
Timu.
But anyway,
Another.
okay. We got one here from Tim.
Ooh,
Let's
Tim
see. Should I
Henry.
just stack or is graded silver coins like quarters,
Mm,
halves, eagles? I think they're saying, what about these collectibles?
right.
Should I do collectibles or just like bullion? And I think you and I probably agree on this, but maybe differ slightly. What's your opinion?
Well, just for clarification, if there's newbies that don't know what Tim is talking about, graded coins. Those are usually coins that are put in a slab or a piece of plastic, a container, by a grading service, PCGS and NGC. Those are grading services that will look at these coins
Mm-hmm.
and provide a grade, is how the quality, and that helps to determine value sometimes. I believe in grading silver and gold and other types of coins, provided that they are numismatics. In other words, they're older, they have a special date,
Not
maybe
modern.
some rarity to it, but not modern bullion. Not, and Tim just showed me one. He said, check this out. And it was a first strike issue eagle, and they had been sold this thing. And guess how much that eagle cost them? A
What?
silver eagle, $200.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't a rare date. It wasn't one of the early ones, 90s or whatever. It was just a piece of bullion. It was an American silver eagle. It got taken.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens. So if you're buying like an old silver coin, really, really valuable, uh, get it graded. That helps lend authenticity and trust to an older coin. But and usually that's for if you're going to try to flip it, sell it, right? That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people that are new, you should really stay away from those more collectible things because
Hmm.
I think you're probably going to buy it at an elevated price, retail price, and then when you go to sell it, you're not maybe not going to be as have as much success than if you were just getting rid of bullion. Like selling bullion, you could walk down to your local coin shop. They'll buy it for typically spot, maybe a little over, depending on what it is.
Hmm.
But these collectibles, um, it's just more difficult to find the right buyer. So unless you're good with eBay or you have a lot of connections, then I would say for new people, definitely stay away from the more collectible stuff, especially the modern stuff like Yankee was talking about.
Yep.
But if you've already, put together a nice stack and you want to have a little bit of fun with it, I don't really see anything wrong with it. I have quite a few collectibles myself,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm aware that they would be harder to sell than just bullion. So I also want to shout out. We got another super chat here. This one is from 949 Designs. Thank you for the $20. They said, please explain the value of stacking constitutional silver to my wife. She
Mm.
thinks it holds no more value than face.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
But let's be fair here. I had a challenge, educating and kind of bringing Mrs. Yankee along early on. It's not easy sometimes for a spouse or a significant other to understand, when be sensitive to it. You really do need to do it gently and help, and there are ways to do it. But stacking isn't always an agreed upon activity in relationships. So it
Right.
can be a challenge. It can be a challenge.
But obviously they're made out of silver. And
Yes,
and there's a market for silver.
correct.
So other people agree that it has more value. And right
Mm-hmm.
now it's, 18, 19, 20 times more value than the face,
Right.
depending on where you go. So there's a market of people who are willing to buy it for that much. So obviously the value is greater. But really what it comes down to is the fact that there is a rare element in these coins that is not in the modern coins. The modern
Right.
ones are flecks of base metal. A modern dime is made out of copper with a thin nickel coating. It's not
Right.
worth very much. The old silver dimes, 90% of that dime is silver, the other 10% is copper.
Mm.
So silver has intrinsic value. It's been used as money for thousands of years, and there's a market for it. So that's why it has more value, right?
Yep. Yep. The other thing I think of too is I read somewhere that a lot of guys like to think about the Roman Empire, and that blows women's mind sometimes. I've read an article on this. The Roman Empire. Why are you always thinking about that? Well, one of the things that I think about is how Rome took their coinage and debased it,
Mm,
meaning they took that silver out. They made it less and less valuable intrinsically. They did it, they clipped it, they did all kinds of nasty things because of the moral and
agreed.
greed, right, right. The monetary decadence that was going on in Rome. We're seeing that happening and has happened here in America and a lot of parallels. So when it comes to the coinage, you could show 949 designs the difference and how, and when they took it out of the dimes and the quarters and the halves, and they reduced it from 90 to 40% for the halves for a few years, and then they took it all out. And I think that might show, well, why are they doing that? What is the purpose? And then they can see the government is really destroying the value of our currency by doing that. So maybe that'll resonate too with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
You know,
Debasement.
debasing currency. Yeah.
Yeah. And if she doesn't like the answer, then you'll be sleeping in debasement for the night. No. Okay. That was a bad joke. Uh,
Great.
no. Okay.
Bad joke.
We got another super chat here from Metally Corrupted. They say the one big problem with SHTF, you have to deal with human nature and greed. Do you think a silver dime will cover the price of someone else's goods that may not be replaced? And I think we kind of touched on this. First in SHTF, people don't really want silver. They want what is it? Band-aids, bullets, and beans, right? The bullion comes later if you're doing all the bees.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think people aren't going to give up their food for silver right away. And that's
Nope.
why it's important to prep, have,
Right.
clean water or the ability to purify it, food on hand. I was actually just talking to Yankee, what was it, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
We had a big storm roll in, and Yankee's a prepper, right? He's got all the
Yeah.
stuff. He's got his generator, his food, and everything. And I'm like, I need to get a generator, Yankee. Like, which one should I get? Is this gonna work? Like, how do I
We
hook
were
this thing up?
talking. Wasn't the power out when we were talking?
Yeah, it was already too late. But
Sorry.
I had the foresight to buy the generator before
Yes,
the
you
power
did.
went out.
Yes, you did.
Okay, I knew the storm was coming, and I should have bought it a long time ago. But be that as it may, it ended up working out. Well, we were able to run the house on the generator for a day, 1+ days, and it ended up being okay. But I think prepping, I've seen now firsthand, is really wise and prudent, and it
Mm.
should be something you should do in tandem with your stacking, right?
Amen. Beautifully said.
Okay, I think we have time for a few more questions here.
Whoa, this hour has gone by fast.
I know
Wow.
it's been a lot
I
of
just looked
fun.
at the time when you said that. I was like, wait a minute. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So we'll do a few more here, and then we will cut off the podcast portion, and we will do the giveaway for the people here live.
Right.
Thank you all so much for being here. Um, how about this one here from Silver Me
Ooh,
Timbers?
silver me timber.
Um,
66.
yes, execute
Can I
order
read it?
66. Yeah, go ahead.
Should we convert silver to gold when we can or hold off to have a good amount? And if so, what average at what so what average so I'm sorry. So what an average good amount of silver before converting to gold? Sorry.
Yeah, I think they wrote it a little
It's
strange.
okay.
But yeah, essentially they're saying how much silver
Yeah,
should I have before I start getting gold, or
right.
because it's worded a few different ways. You could think of
Right.
it as converting silver to gold, like waiting for the ratio,
Hmm.
or like, hey, I'm just stacking silver. When do I start buying gold? Because I think converting to gold, puts a picture in your mind that they're actually going to be selling their silver.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Right.
I'm not
I get it.
exactly sure which way to answer it, but what do you think if someone just wants to stack silver and then they go, okay, I need to diversify? At what point do they start buying gold?
All right. So I have my own personal feelings about the playing the gold to silver ratio and converting silver to gold. But I like to start with this. What is your strategy for buying silver? Why are you buying it? Is it to convert to gold? I like to buy my silver as a barter currency potentially. I like it for a specific reason, and I love my gold for similar yet different reasons. And I think about what Tim Marshner, my local coin shop dealer, says: gold is a barter between nations, but silver is a barter between people. It
Mm.
is much more personal. It's closer to where you're at, person to person. So eventually, I think this is what you want for that purpose. So I don't really look at this going, oh, I wish this was gold. Why do I have all this silver? I really want it to be gold. No, I want the silver for a reason. So for me, when I look at that, I'm like, yeah, just, create the buy ratio. How many ounces of gold per how many ounces of silver you want to be buying for the purpose that meets your needs, what your strategy is.
Yeah, don't really think about converting. Just stack gold along with your silver.
Mm.
But if you are
Hmm.
going to be converting, and I know we could do a whole thing on the gold silver ratio because we have different
Yep.
ideas on it,
Yep.
but my opinion is you should wait for it really to get down to like 50 to 1. If you
Hmm.
do want to convert some silver to gold, wait for that number. Because I think you're going to be much better off than if you start doing it at like 80 or 70 or something like that.
By the
Um,
way, I posed the question really quick to Tim about what happens if the price of silver hits three digits and you've got a line of people out the door with silver trying to get gold. And he's like, he looked at me, he's like, good luck getting the gold. I'm
right.
like, whoa, okay.
It's certainly something to think about.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, maybe 55. Jump the gun a little bit.
Yeah, jump others right. You gotta get in line first.
On the ratio. Okay,
Right.
one more quick question before we end it here.
Hmm.
Blake is saying, Blake Davidson, $200 a week, too much on silver. Now, I just want to say, we all have a different budget. To some people, $200 is like nothing. They could spend that on lunch, whatever. To other people, $200 is a lot of money. Like, do you know how many hours I had to work to earn that $200? Um, so we're all in a different place. I think what you need to do is, figure out what you can afford. If you can pretty comfortably afford it, I do not think that is too much. Um, what do you think, Yankee?
I Great advice. It's more of a percentage of
Right.
your discretionary income.
There.
Really, after you've paid down debt, after you've got rid of revolving debt, after you've prepared and have a reserve, contingencies, do other things as well. You really do need to come up with the appropriate number for you. How much money you feel you can spend without having to be forced, like we talked about at the beginning of this podcast, being forced to sell it
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have the ability to take a broken dishwasher or something, you know?
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's a good one to end on for the podcast anyway.
Hmm.
This has been fun, and we hope to do many more in the future. Remember to wait a minute. How do we end it, Yankee? You do it, and then I'll end it.
Are we that rusty, man?
We are that rusty. I mean,
We really are.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Silver Pros.
Stack like a pro. All right, and we got 3 more minutes for the people here live. Do you want to bring up the wheel, Yankee, and do some giveaways real quick?
I do. Let me give them 10 seconds to put something in the chat. If you haven't done so right now, this is your last chance. Get it in there so I can harvest the names. I'm going to be doing that in just a few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Oh, the chat's going to just blow up now. All right. So, all
they
right. I'm
put they
taking
put
it.
their chats in. I've seen them.
You haven't seen it. All
Yeah.
right.
So Yankee's
Well,
gonna take the names and pull up the wheel, and then I'll put it on the full screen so you guys can see the whole wheel.
all right. So you stop sharing. I will share mine, right?
Yeah, you go. Yes, good call. Let me stop share. Now you go ahead and pull it up, and then I'll show it on the screen. We had this all worked out before, but of
We
course,
did. We did.
I got
It's good.
so
It's good.
flustered. No.
There, you should see it now.
Okay, let me pull it up, and boom, there it is.
All right. So let me paste in all the names.
And we're gonna be spinning it twice. Each
Oh yeah,
winner
that's right.
will win a Cowboy silver round courtesy of SD Bullion. So 2 spins, 2 winners. Each person gets 1 ounce of silver for free.
Wow, lots of names. Let's just shuffle this up really well, guys. And good luck, everyone. Here we go. That little gray spot on the left side is just so that we don't scrunch all the names down really, really tiny and you can't see it. So the names will go in there and then eventually pop out the top.
Yes, best of luck. Again, there's going to be 2 winners. So the first winner will be whoever this lands on. Jason?
Maxilla, Azure Blue,
Oh,
Daryl,
maybe it won't get that
and
far. Kimberly?
Kimberly. Kimberly Forbes, maybe?
Or
Yes.
all right.
Kimberly Forbes gets the first Cowboy round.
Congratulations. Shoot me an email,
Mhm.
Kimberly. My email is silverdragons47@gmail.com. It's in the description of this stream. And let me know. We need to know your name, address, and your phone number. And then
All right.
SD Bullion will send that out for free.
Okay. We're going to
Do one
spin
more
one more.
here. By the
One
way,
more.
West Texas Stacker said, "Thank you, SD. I talked to you once on the phone at Harry's Coin Shop. Now I'm
Oh, that's
hooked."
great.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Sometimes I do answer the
Wow.
phone when I'm there.
All right. We've got Bradley and Chev and My Silver Journey. Spartan, James, Ken.
Nick,
Do you think Nick?
Travis, could be
Hang
Travis.
on, Nick. Hang on, Nick. Down to the wire. Nick.
There it is.
Pribich
Congratulations.
or Pribich. Nick, you won. Congrats. All right. Well, I will stop sharing it now. Boom. That's it.
Yes, and we'll go ahead and let's see. I'm gonna bring it back to like, whoops. We'll do it like that. There we go.
There we go. All right. Wow, that was a lot of fun.
That
Really
was
cool.
that was a lot of fun. Congratulations to both of the winners. Make sure you email me again, silverdragons47@gmail.com. We are gonna be streaming again in 2 weeks, right?
That's right. On my channel, Yankee Stacking. I need to ask people in the chat right now, what do you think of this format, this Q&A back and forth, and the podcast approach that we're doing here? It's a little bit different than the other seasons. What do you think? Do you like it? Like it or don't like it? In the chat, I'd love to know.
I mean, we could do a quick
Nice.
poll, but
Love
we're
it.
gonna go a little over. I mean, do you want
Yeah,
me to
no,
do a
I'm
quick
just
poll?
giving them a quick informal poll. Here we go.
Like
Oh,
it?
look at that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think they like it.
I think it's good too. I enjoy it.
Whoa.
Love the format. You see that from Liz? All right. Yes.
Like it, love it. All right.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll do it again possibly next week. I like it.
Yes,
All right.
and I
Or
need
2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks.
yeah, we'll do it again in 2 weeks. And in
Mm-hmm.
the meantime, I'm gonna figure out how to post these as a podcast, and we'll try and get you guys the link if you want to subscribe to the podcast as well.
Yep.
I'm sure it'll be in the show notes at the next Silver Pros. So yeah, subscribe to Yankee Stacking, and we'll do it again in 2 weeks. We'll have another giveaway. It'll be super fun.
Cool. Some people are saying, yeah, Q&A didn't work for me. And one person said in the iPhone, I couldn't. We'll have to check that out. But you should be able to switch to the Q&A on a mobile device, no? On a tablet or phone?
Right, and you know,
I've done that.
one of the things that we've done in other seasons was we would have a topic and then do a Q&A at the end.
That's true.
So, you know, we might do a hybrid, but hopefully we'll try and do some sort of a Q&A at most of these,
Right.
if not all of them.
Vote for Pedro. I am not singing. Right.
We got to shut this stream down, Yankee.
Shut it down, buddy.
All right. Thank you so much for watching Silver Pros.
Stack like a pro, guys.